Hey, what's up guys? As you know that iOS 9 has just arrived on various iPad and iPhone models, I thought of taking this opportunity to show you some of the not so obvious features that the brand new OS brings. Now, iOS 9 is a major OS upgrade for Apple and it brings in lots and lots of new features. Some of them are very obvious and the others are not so obvious or not so easy to find straight on your face kind of features. Now remember that what is obvious for some people might not be so for others. Even if some of these tips will help you to get the most out of the iOS 9, I'd be happy and I think the video would be successful. Anyway, let's get started. Now first of all, before going to all the tips, let me tell you how the sizes compare to each other. So before I had, the last one was 8.4.1. I have my little older iPad here and see there it used to take 617 MB and out of 16 GB 11.9 GB was available. Here iOS 9 was 942 MB of size, and now see, now it's upgraded to 9 and it took 692 MB. So 692 MB and 617 MB, not so much of space difference, available 11.7 GB. So iOS 9 won't take much more space than your iOS 8.4.1. Having said that, let's get to our first feature or not so obvious features. Feature number 1. Now you get to see the usage here in last 12 hours, what apps are using how much. However, when you tap on this small clock button here, it'll tell you for how much time one particular app is running in the background. You see 23-minute on screen, 13-minute background, so that you know that which of these particular apps are using most amount of your energy, so that you can manage that particular app to save your battery life. There's a very nifty little information feature. Tip number 2. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write the website name, nothingwire.com, and I'm just gonna go ahead and select all and then cut it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go ahead and paste this URL on Safari. So now what happens, before you used to paste the URL first and or type the URL and press go, but now you can do both of the steps together whenever you're trying to paste any word in the address bar of Safari. For example, just go here, I long press it, it says paste and go. So now when you leave it and press this, it will paste and it will automatically go to that particular website. Even if you have, let's say, just word, I'll just write nothing wired. Yeah, just write nothing wired, and I'm gonna go ahead, select all and then cast, and now I'm gonna go to Safari again. Now when I long press it, it says paste and search, because what I'm pasting here is not a URL and it knows that. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is what I call keypad to trackpad feature. Now you can see I have that selected, this one. Let's say this part is not selected, the URL, for example, any URL. Now you have the keypad out here. When you press 2 fingers simultaneously, this kind of disappears the keyboard and turns this into a trackpad. Now see, now I can select the whole URL or that kind of thing, or also select any part of the URL basically, see, and move the mouse much more easily here. Let's say that part, let's say you don't want this part to go, or I can just go ahead and press here and then again press this and quickly go here and select this part, let go, and then we can go to that particular. So now it's much more easier than holding there and then move the cursor. That was much more difficult before. Tip number 4. You see I have a mobile optimized site open here. Now this is perfectly mobile optimized, but you would see that some web developers do not create the mobile optimized pages or mobile optimized format of any page that nicely. So if in case you wanna request a desktop mode of the website, which Android have they already had for ages. You can do that now, but there is no obvious button. You have to go and long press the refresh button. Once you refresh, long press that, you would see request desktop sites. Do that and it should open a desktop site. So that's the desktop site is slightly different than the mobile site. That's the tip number 4. Tip number 5, you know that shake to undo feature is by default on, but before you could not turn it off. Now, a lot of time what happens, you unintentionally just shake the phone on your tablet and it would undo the important step that you took. Now you can switch off the shake to undo feature. Just go to settings, general, and there actually you need to go to accessibility, and here you see shake to undo on. Now finally you can switch this off. Tip number 6, now you can use markup, or you can write on top of your image while sending via mail. To show that, I'd long press on this space and I would insert a photo or a video, let's say from all photo. Let's select this one. I would say use. Now this photo is on the mail, so you can see. So long press on the photo itself and it will give you the markup feature there, see. So once you do that, it kind of slightly becomes smaller, and now you have all these options, colors, and various kind of stuff. So I can just go ahead, I can select this color and I can show you that. See, my podcast is taking so less space, and whatever, like my calendar and reminder are taking a lot of time. I'm happy. So you can use your markup on your image now, and you can say done. Once you say that, yeah, it goes on, and now you can send a mail. We had this feature in Android for long, but for iOS we finally have a very easy multiple photo selection option in iOS 9. For that, let's say you have multiple photos out here, just press select and move your fingers over the photos that you want to select. Let's say here, and it will go there, see, it selects everything, and you can also unselect and select all this very easily, and you can delete or upload or do whatever you want. It's a very handy feature. iOS 9 also brings in enhanced passcode feature. Once you go to settings and go to passcode, now you can see I have my passcode turned off, but if you want to turn passcode on, you can still enter 4 digits. However, to enhance the passcode, you can go to passcode option, and now it gives you various options, like it gives you a 6-digit numeric code, which I think have a probable combination of 1 million as opposed to only about 10,000 of the 4-digit passcode. So if you enable the 6-digit passcode, it would be very hard, or at least much harder than the 4-code password to guess. You can also have custom numeric code or custom alphanumeric code. So we suggest, or Apple at least recommend you to use at least the 6-digit passcode. Next tip. Now it's a lot easier to go back to the previous app from one app if the previous app invoked you to go to the other app. For example, let's say I'll just search for Maxter app for iPad. Now this one is listed. If I click here, it'll take me to App Store, and there you see App Store. Now if I change my mind, I don't have to double press this and then go back to my Safari. It adds a small button here. There you see back to Safari. I can simply click here and it will take me to the previous app. Now it's very easy. Now you can save your web pages as PDF into iBook very easily. Now let's say we have Nothing Wired website open here, and in case I would want to save this whole web page as a PDF, all I need to do is go to the share button, tapping here, and you have various options here. You can send this page via mail and all. Here you will see there's a particular option called save PDF to iBooks. So once I do that, it will create a PDF of the web page. Last tip I'm going to show you is how to come back from an image very easy. Now see, I've just opened a single image. You can go like this also, and an easier way to do is just swipe bottom I will go back, bottom, and will go back. Yeah, so those are some of the not so obvious tips here. Now there may be some more obvious tips, like for example, now you have separate albums for selfies, so it's easier. You don't have to go and search for your selfies in all photos on there. So there's separate selfie, and then you also have the spotlight back. You also have the Siri suggested apps. Now so you can see, you can do continue, and you can search here or over the iPad or from the web. Also, if you go to settings, now you can search for any settings. You don't have to go and particularly fiddle around or particularly search for any particular settings that's hidden within all the headings. For example, I'm gonna go and say shake to undo, and it's all done. I can straight away go there from here. So those are some of the more obvious things, but iOS 9 brings in many enhancements without any particular load or more load on the RAM and usage as such. So I really recommend you update to iOS 9, and if any of these tips have helped you, this video would prove to be very helpful, and I would think that my effort was useful and helpful to some. Also, let me know if I missed anyone. Let me know if you have discovered any particular tips that really not so obvious but very interesting and useful. Thank you.